My name is Ka Ngai, the poet, and I am a spoken word poet.
Tell us about your journey. How did it start?
Okay, it started in high school. I think I grew up with what is it called? Inferiority complex, like singeweza kujiongea. I felt like my opinions were so inferior or wrong. Yeah. So I wrote it down instead of talking to anyone else. But in high school, that is when I fell in love with poetry. Yeah. I had a book in high school yenye I wrote poetry. Ilikuwa imejaa. It was this big books na ilikuwa imejaa. So my classmates they borrowed the book to read for entertainment. High school hatukuwa na entertainment. And then from there, I went to campus. I went to Maseno University and I met this family of artists, from musicians, from drawing artists, and all kinds of artists, acha tuseme hivyo. And there's this event inaitwa, what is it called? Spoken art. Yeah, it's called spoken art inakuanga every Thursday. Yeah, so I performed there every Thursday since niko first year to fourth year. Not all of them, but most of them. And that is when I grew to be not just a writer, but also a performer. Yeah, and then in the middle nikuwa huko that year, that is when nilisema start performing to Maseno. I need to share this with everyone else. And that is when I started creating poetry online. So far, so good.
So tell us about the themes that are interesting to you.
I can't say there is any theme in particular. I like to freestyle, like anything that comes around. Kama, for example, Juicy, the 8th of this month was Women's Day. So yeah, let's say this week we're talking about women, just anything. If I'm in love, I'll write about love. If I'm heartbroken, I'll write heartbreak. Anything. Let's just say we freestyle here.
When it comes to the creative process, do you actually have some sort of fashion element that comes into it? The way you look when you are presenting your work, does the way you dress matter?
Yeah, how I dress really matters because how you look is how you feel. So I like to feel bold. I like to feel confident. So it really matters how I look.
Is that aspect of African style and tradition comes into your dressing, or you're a bit more modern? Anything can do the job?
I don't really like the modern style. I'm into vintage styles. I really love vintage. And the reason why I moved to Kisumu when I went to campus was because people in Kisumu have a style. Like when you walk in Kisumu, all you see is vintage. Like every person has a story. You can just see someone's story by just looking at them and how they're dressed.
Very interesting. As a woman in the creative space, what are the challenges you've been confronted to?
Not being taken seriously. That's the main one. Poetry is seen more of a hobby instead of something serious financially and in terms of creativity. Yeah.
Do you think that poetry has the power to shift the narrative about African women and beauty in general?
Poetry plays a very big role because poetry makes people feel heard, people feel seen, and it's empowering.
In a few words, can you tell us about your vision of the future?
In terms as a poet, okay. The future looks like one woman shows. I'll be so honest, I've not been a very confident person, but I'm growing to become one, and I would really love to have one woman shows, just a whole stage for myself, and also collaborating with other spoken word artists, other poets, and bridging poetry with other forms of art like music and everything else. Yeah.
Would you say that you would include as well fashion, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
All right, that sounds great. In your journey as a poet, in your journey as a woman in the Kenyan context, what
Yeah.
is the advice you would give to other creatives in that environment?
Be fearless. To be cringe is to be free. When I was starting, I was so okay. Some of my works are so evocative, and bringing them out, I've always been like so afraid what are people going to say. But once they were out there, I like the response I got was I did not imagine something like that. So yeah, be fearless, speak your mind. It's your art, not anyone else's art. Yeah, it's yours, and that's your voice. That is how people are gonna view you. Yeah.
Does the Kenyan culture somehow influence your approach to poetry? Is it a matter of observing everyday phenomenon and writing about it?
Anytime I'm not writing about myself, I'm writing about everyone else. So yeah.
Thank you very much. That was very instructive.
Thank you.